Good morning. I've got something for you this morning that I reckon you think is not affecting you, and I bet it is. If you think that you can watch social media, TV, anything that is, um, doom scrolling, like mindlessly watching to relax, and it's not affecting your relationships, then I've got this is for you. And I can already feel your brain going, this isn't for me, and wanting to scroll on. So, for those that are curious, I encourage you to stay because it's very interesting what's happening in the world at the moment. We are being hijacked and we don't even realize it. In fact, even saying that word may have caused you, like, like I might not get pushed out to people because of the words that I'm using, right? So let's just take a moment to pause. And if this is the first time you've seen me, by the way, my name is Elizabeth Elenor, and if I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, I am a coach that still hasn't quite worked out how to explain what I do. I do a process called recoding. I'm the founder of the Ascendance Code and Peacemaker Ascension Portal. I'm on a massive mission to remind people that we are in control of our reality if we just wake up. If we just shake our head out of this friggin' illusion and recognize that we have the power to make choices and to live in our own frequency if we choose. So let's talk about that, right? I want to talk about the fact that every time you see something, it's opening up your system to either empower you or disempower you. It's drawing your emotional capacity to connect in real, true life relationships away from you if you're unconsciously just doom scrolling or watching things that you know are bad for you, right? Anything that is talking about what's going on out in the world, like watching. And the thing is, you don't know whether it's real or not, right? There is so much, like, Tim will show me a reel or something. I'm like, yeah, that's actually false. It's disinformation, because you can see that the type of videos, you guys have seen it, right? Like, share in the comments if you've seen something and you know that it's not real, because the quality of the look of the people or the quality of the space is just a little bit too pristine looking. That's when you know that it's actually being orchestrated, right? And who are these people that have got this time to put this information out? It's ridiculous. But anyway, so you think you're just relaxing, but you're subtly sabotaging your capacity to connect with other people. Relationships become really distant and your mood shifts without you even realizing it. Because when you're watching something, and I'm trying to think of the words without triggering the algorithm, but there's a lot of stuff that are out there at the moment where people are being exposed for things that they've done, right? Celebrities, you know, high flyers, all of these people, and it draws us in to find out more, who's on the list, all of this stuff, right? And there's so much information out there that a lot of it can be there can be truth to it, but there can be a lot of disinformation thrown in and sprinkled around just so that it creates confusion, so that we actually don't know what's going on. And now here's the thing, I want you to stop for a moment, because do we really need to know? The truth is that we're living in an illusion, right? We are living in the matrix. And we throw it around like, yeah, I've heard it before, but I want you to stop and think about what that means. What part of your life are you actually in power and in control of? Just take a moment to think about that, because you think that scrolling or watching, explicit scenes with people or things that are not nice for your eyes is not affecting your mood, your frequency, your connection with other people, your ability to control your emotional capacity or your brain or your motivation. It's affecting your frequency and your ability to be in control of who you are and what you want to choose to create, what it is that you want to focus on, what you're doing, your mission, your impact, your love of self, love of others, emotional capacity. Like, all of these things are being affected by every single little image that we see. And I'm talking about the images in our house as well, like what you're looking at in your environment. Does your environment actually lift you up, or is your environment something that I can never see which way it's supposed to go? Is your environment something that is not conducive to a stable, steady, safe, secure, comfortable, relaxed environment? I know that I'm really good with chaos, right? I'm really good with being in the ability to have lots going on at the same time and still have a steady frequency. However, the Virgo in me, after a while, if Tim and I have been working like too full on and not taking time to clean our areas like the kitchen and the lounge room and all of those things, and it might be just, a blanket that we haven't folded or whatever it might be, it starts to affect me really subtly. And this is the thing that I'm trying to get across, is what I'm sharing, is that blanket can be, and I'm just using it as an example, it can be thrown there because every day, I might, put it on my legs or something or whatever on the lounge when I'm, just reading a book or watching TV, or like watching a movie or whatever we do, to relax in the afternoon. That blanket might be there, and if I don't fold it away after, a little while, it now becomes a mess in my head that is affecting the way I am behaving, right? And I'm not special. I just notice these things, right? So what happens is, when we have things in our environment that are out of balance or out of our, regulated nervous system capacity, we then start looking for dopamine to relax our system, right? We have these little hits of dopamine to support us to relax. And so doom scrolling can be one of your things that you're looking to do to get that dopamine hit, right? Where the brain just wants to shut off and be in that space of not really thinking, but having the chemical reaction to relax and enjoy, like these little tiny sparks in the brain. And these new pieces of content can trigger dopamine, which is feel-good hormone, right? And it releases but it's shallow and it's fleeting. And so that's why you want more of it, right? So the more you scroll, the more your brain craves these little hits, and the more it's getting unnatural chemical reactions in the body, and it affects everything that's happening in your system. You no longer have that ability to regulate yourself. Cortisol, which is the stress hormone tends to elevate, right? So then you're more triggered when you've got someone else in the house and they're just having, a bad day, or they might be stressed or something. And instead of being able to hold your capacity to function, and hold your own emotional capacity, it triggers you, and next thing there's a fight, right? Or two people not talking to each other because they're getting their dopamine from somewhere else instead of by loving and hugging and emotionally rewarding each other, rather than they're getting it from an artificial experience, right? So each time it's tweaking your mood and your chemistry, and it's real life connection becomes less rewarding. So what I have noticed is that is actually part of the program of the planet, is part of social media, it's part of movies, right? To create drama, to create chaos, to create aggression, to create lower frequencies instead of elevated, insightful, inspiring things. So in the last couple of days, I think it might have even been last week, I put this long post on. Now, my long posts often get a lot of engagement on them, and I put this long post on and didn't get one single like, comment, nothing. And I showed it to Tim, so I put it on early in the morning, and in the afternoon I showed it to Tim, and so he liked it. Now, because he liked it, it might have been pushed out to other people, but because if you talk about pain, if you talk about drama, if you talk about woe is me and victim mentality, your social media will go off. You'll get all of the what do they call that? Where you get a dopamine hit because, I'm just trying to think of what it's called. You get a dopamine hit because everyone's liking your post, right? So you get rewarded. It's called vanity metrics. Tongue twister for me first thing in the morning. You know what I'm talking about, right? Now, the fact that no one saw it, no one liked it, means that it was actually not pushed out. And I have noticed that, and so has, I know other people that are in business, that if you're not being in victim mode, if you are trying to inspire and uplift, then social media, Meta, doesn't push out your content as much. And so what is that costing us? And are you in control of your emotions? Are you in control and got the power? Like, for those, control freaks out there in the room, if you're scrolling, if you're looking at things that are not supportive to healthy emotional regulation, like you're watching, like, almost, I can't even say the word because I know that it won't allow me, and people won't see this, but if you're looking at explicit content that is going to give you a rush in some way, then you're missing out and you're not in control of your life. You're not in control of your moods. You're not in control of your relationships. You are not in control. Who's in control? This social media, this meta, the movies, the like they're programming, and they call it programming for a reason, to dumb us down, to hide our to hide us from the fact that we are actually freaking powerful beings, and that we have the ability to create massive changes in the world, massive we've got this massive ability to create, because we are electromagnetic beings. I mean, I could go into the science of how your brain, when you make a choice, that choice is emanating out into the ethers, right? Because we are electromagnetic beings, and that choice is a thought, and out it goes into, through plasma to bridge to all of the other choices that are in your reality, and it picks the one that you want to create and draws it towards you. There is a reason it's called law of attraction, right? There's a law. It's not just attraction, it's a law of the universe. And so you're creating all of the time. And so I want you to think about that, because what are you creating? Are you creating whatever they want you to create by just showing you information that you don't need to know? That's, it's supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to be rewarding your dopamine, like it's supposed to be giving you these little mindless, playful hits. But while that's happening, it's a distraction from the fact that we actually can create massive, amazing, powerful things in our life. Soulmates. We can, I'll give you an example. So the other day I had a session with my business mentor. It was a 90-minute session, and we were energetically, working through some stuff. And through that, I had the realization that my type of magic is chaos. There's three types of magic. There's elemental, there's chaotic, and there's sacrificial. And my type of magic is chaos, which is really interesting because I thrive in chaos. But I used to, since being with Tim, I thought I needed to repel that chaos and be in his steady, strong, sturdy, safe, balanced way of being. And so I was repelling it. But now I realize that it's part of who I am. So I can actually be accepting it and embracing it, right? I just need to make sure I cut it off when I'm around my kids or people that need me to be in a more steady, grounded manner. And so now I've been playing with this idea and concept. So Tim and I have been talking about it, and I'm having these little moments of recognition and realization of, this is where I used that and I didn't realize, or now that I know this, I can do this. And so I've been talking about it. And because of the way the algorithm works and these things listen to everything that you're saying, next thing I know, Tim sees a reel from someone that we've never seen before who's talking about plasma, and has a book called The New Force. And so we start listening to this woman, and that information about plasma is directly linked to the magic of chaos. I know it doesn't sound like it, but it is, right? And so I was able to use it to my advantage to be inspired. Now, what I did was I bought her book and now I'm reading her book. However, I also had this moment of, now I know what my magic is, I can utilize it. So on the 3rd of the 3rd, I wanted to get my license, my passport renewed, and I had to find all of the documents that I couldn't find last time I wanted to do it. And I pushed that energy into a way of focusing it, and I found the documents, and in the process I've already received, within 6 days I've got my passport, because I focused the energy and I was in control of my power. I chose what I wanted to create. If I was doom scrolling or watching things that are not good for my eyes, right, that are causing the imbalance within my chemical capacity, my emotional capacity, that magic gets completely distorted, unmotivated, uninspired. It lets in all of the, doubts, the fears, the worries, the concerns, the I'm not good enough. So all of those things start playing in the back of your mind and become more louder than your higher self, your superconscious, and your creative ability. And so where are you giving your power away is the question that I want to ask you. I want to give you 3 tips, right? If this is something that's landing for you and you want to be in control of your reality, not the friggin' media, then the first tip is have a content curfew, right? Curfew. Be aware of when you're allowing yourself, like give yourself an hour if you want to do it, right? Just be aware of being disciplined, of I'm cutting it off at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever, and I'm not watching anything after that, and I'm going to spend time with the people I love, with reading instead, something that's going to inspire me. That's number 2. Intentionally follow accounts that inspire you to take action offline. Do things like intentionally watch the things that are going to inspire you, motivate you, hold you at a higher frequency, hold you responsible for, like reflecting on your own life and taking action, inspired action, right? And number 3, every time you become aware of doom scrolling, every time you catch yourself, then do something. Don't just go and put your phone down, because you're not learning the habit of catching yourself. Do something that's going to support you to recognize it sooner. So, one of the things that my business mentor does is touch your nose, right? Now I'm touching my nose because now I'm aware of what I'm doing. Maybe go for a walk, maybe write a letter of gratitude to someone. Whatever it might be, do something to change the habit and shift the frequency. Now, everyone knows, go outside, go for a walk, look at the sun, go to the beach, look at a tree, whatever it might be, because those images in your peripheral, in your vision, will change and give you the true dopamine, will lower your cholesterol levels, will ground your body, all of those things. That's where our body is designed to be, not in these artificial boxes, right? So where are you giving your power away? Be aware of being consciously aware of what it is that you're taking in through your eyes, and making the choice to choose things that are going to lift you up, that are going to support you to spiritually grow or emotionally grow or mentally grow or, you know, physically grow, whatever it is. Do the things so that you're the one that's in control and that you're not settling for lower standards, for lack of motivation, for uninspired, you know, doom scrolling stuff, right? We settle without even recognizing that we're settling. So that's me for this week. I have on the 25th of March, we have the Queen's Standard. It's a monthly mixer. And that's one of the things that we will be doing, is talking about how we settle. Because if you are doom scrolling and you're in a relationship, there's something going on that needs to be supported and looked at. So put in Queen into the comments, because what we'll be doing is we're doing a Queen's Standard activation where we're going to be connecting with our higher self and asking specific questions to get an understanding of where it is that you're settling in your life, in your relationships, so that you can do something about it and clear what it is, the underlying belief that's under the reason you're settling, right? Because sometimes it's that you feel like you're not good enough. Other times it's because you feel like you're too much. So put Queen into the comments and we will send you the link, and I will catch you next week. Take care.